Hello everyone, this is Divya, working as Assistant Professor in EEE Department in St. Peter's Engineering College. Today I want to discuss about wind generator topologies, that is Unit 2 in the subject WSHE. So here the main contents are fixed and variable speed wind turbines and induction generators, DFIZ, that means doubly fed induction generator and synchronous generator, and the next one is power electronic converters. So the first one is fixed speed wind turbines. In general, the wind turbines can operate either with a fixed speed or variable speed. Coming to the fixed speed wind turbines, in the early 1990s, the standard installed wind turbines are operated at fixed speeds only. That means regardless of the wind speed, the wind turbine's rotor speed is fixed and it is determined by the frequency of the supply grid, the gear ratio and generated design also. It is characteristics of a fixed speed wind turbines that they are equipped with an induction generator, that means either that is a squirrel cage or wound rotor that is directly connected to the grid with a soft starter and a capacitor bank for reducing reactive power compensation. They are designed to achieve maximum efficiency at one particular wind speed. In order to increase the power production, the generator of some fixed speed wind turbines has two winding sets. That means one is used at a low wind speed, that is typically maximum 8 pole, and the other one is at medium and high wind speed, that is typically 4 to 6 poles. The fixed speed wind turbines has the disadvantage of being simple, robust, and reliable as well as proven. And the cost of its electrical parts is very low. And its disadvantage are an uncontrollable reactive power consumption and mechanical stress and limited power quality control. So, owing to its fixed speed operation, all the fluctuations in the wind speed or the electrical power on the grid. So, in case of weak grids, the power fluctuations can also lead to large voltage fluctuations, so which in turn will result in significant line loss. So, here to reduce this effect, we will go with the variable speed wind turbines. So, the variable speed wind turbines are designed to achieve maximum aerodynamic efficiency over a wide range of wind turbines. And variable speed wind turbines are designed to get the maximum efficiency, and with a variable speed operation it has become possible continuously to adopt the rotational speed. That means if omega is the speed of the turbine, we can take that is a rotational speed of the omega of the wind turbine to wind speed v. So in this way the tip speed ratio is kept constant at a predefined value that corresponds to the maximum power coefficient. So we can achieve the maximum power coefficient here. The electrical system of a variable speed wind turbine is more complicated than the fixed speed wind turbine system. It is typically equipped with an induction or synchronous generator and connected to a grid through a power converter. So the power converter controls the generator speed, that is power fluctuations caused by the wind variations and are observed mainly by changes in the rotor generator speed. So and consequently in the wind turbine rotor speed is variable. So the advantage of the variable speed wind turbines are an increased energy capture and improvement in the power quality and reduced mechanical stresses on the wind turbines. So the disadvantages or losses in the power electronics, the use of more components and the increased cost of the equipment because of the power electronics equipments which are used here. So the introduction of the variable speed wind turbine types increases the number of applicable generator types and also introduces several degrees of freedom in the combination of generator type and power converter type. So here the variable speed wind turbines are the most used wind turbines in the wind turbine system. Coming to the generator concepts, basically a wind turbine can be equipped with any type of three-phase generator. So today, the demand for the grid compatible electric current can be met by the connecting frequency converters, even if the generator supplies alternating current of the variable frequency or direct current. So, several generic types of generators may be used in the wind turbines. So, some of them are coming to the asynchronous generators, that means the induction generators. There are mainly two types of induction generators which are used in the wind turbines. Those are squirrel cage induction generator, that is represented as SCIG, and the second one is wound rotor induction generator, that is represented by WRIG. And in the wound rotor induction generator only there exist another two types. Those are opti-slip induction generator, that is indicated by OSIZ, and the second one is doubly fed induction generator, that is DFIZ. So this DFIZ plays major role in the operation of the wind turbines. The mostly used wind turbines are the doubly fed induction generators only. And coming to the synchronous generators, those are wound rotor generators. Those are represented by WRSG, that means wound rotor synchronous generator. And the second one is the PMSG, that means permanent magnet synchronous generator. And coming to the first one, that is induction generator. The most common generator used in the wind turbines is the induction generator, and it has several advantages such as robustness and mechanical simplicity. And as it is produced in large series, it is also has very less price. And the major disadvantage is that the stator needs a reactive magnetizing current. The asynchronous generator does not contain permanent magnets and is not separately excited. Therefore, it has to receive its exciting current from another source and consumes reactive power. So, the reactive power may be supplied by the grid or by a power electronic system. The generator's magnetic field is established only if it is connected to the grid. So, in case of AC excitation, the created magnetic field rotates at a speed determined jointly by the number of poles in the winding and the frequency of the current, the synchronous speed. So, thus, if the rotor rotates at a speed that exceeds the synchronous speed, an electric field is induced between the rotor and the rotating stator field by a relative motion that is called as slip. So, which causes a current in the rotor windings. The interaction of the associated magnetic field of the rotor with the stator field results in the torque acting on the rotor. So the rotor of an induction generator can be designed as so called as short circuit rotor or squirrel cage rotor or else wound rotor. So the first one is the squirrel cage generator, and the second one is the wound rotor induction generator. In that wound rotor induction generator, there exist two types: opti-slip induction generator, and the second one is the doubly fed induction generator. Here, the main one is the doubly fed induction generator. Why? Because it is more advantageous to use other than opti-fed induction generators. So, a doubly fed generator is an interesting option with a growing market. Why? Because it consists of wound rotor induction generator with the stator windings directly connected to the constant frequency, that means three-phase grid, and with the rotor windings mounted to the bidirectional back-to-back IGBT voltage source converter. Here we are using an IGBT voltage source converter, so it is connected to the back-to-back IGBT voltage converter. So the term doubly fed refers to the fact that the voltage on the stator is applied from the grid and the voltage on the rotor is induced by the power converter. That means this system allows a variable speed operation over a large but restricted range. So the converter compensates the difference between mechanical and electrical frequency by injecting a rotor current with a variable frequency. So both during normal operation and faults, the behavior of the generator is thus governed by the power converter and it controls. The power converter consists of two converters, the rotor side converter and a grid side converter. which are controlled independently of each other. So it is beyond the scope of this converter. That means the main idea is that the rotor side converter controls the active and reactive power by controlling the rotor current components, while the line side converter controls the DC link voltage and ensures a converter operation at unity power factor, that is zero reactive power. And depending on the operating condition of the drive, power is fed into or out of the rotor. In an oversynchronous situation, it flows from the rotor via the converter to the grid, whereas it flows in the opposite direction in a subsynchronous situation. In both the cases, the subsynchronous and oversynchronous, the stator feeds energy into the grid. So, the DFIC, that means doubly fed induction generator, has several advantages. It has ability to control the reactive power and to decouple the active and reactive power control by independently controlling the rotor excitation current. And the DFIZ has not necessarily to be magnetized from the power grid. It can be magnetized from the rotor circuit too. And it is also capable of generating reactive power that can be delivered to the stator by the grid side converter. So, however, the grid side converter normally operates at unity power factor and is not involved in the reactive power exchange between the turbine and the grid. So, in case of a weak grid where the voltage may fluctuate, then the doubly fed induction generator may be ordered to produce or absorb an amount of reactive power to or from the grid. So, with the purpose of voltage control, the size of the converter is not related to the total generator power but to the selected speed range and hence to the slip power. So, thus, the cost of the converter increases when the speed range around the synchronous speed becomes wider, and the selection of the speed range is therefore based on the economic optimization of the investment cost and on the increased efficiency. So a drawback of the DFIZ is investable need for the slip rings. So this is about the DFIZ operation and how the DFIZ will work. So the next one is the synchronous generator. So coming to the synchronous generator, the synchronous generator is much more expensive and mechanically more complicated than an induction generator of the similar size. However, it has one clear advantage compared with the induction generator, that is namely it can be called as there is no need of a reactive magnetizing current. The magnetic field in the synchronous generator can be created using permanent magnets or with a conventional field winding. If the synchronous generator has a suitable number of poles, that means a multiple of WRSG or multiple of PMSG, it can be used for direct drive application without any gearbox. So, as a synchronous machine, it is probably most suited for full power control as it is connected to the grid through a power electronic converter. So, the converter has two primary goals. First one is to act as an energy buffer for the power fluctuations caused by an inherently gusting wind energy and for the transients coming from the net side. And the second one is to control the magnetization and to avoid problems by remaining synchronous with grid and control the frequency. So applying such a generator allows a variable speed operation of the wind turbines. There are two classical types of synchronous generators have often been used in the wind turbines. Those are wound rotor synchronous generators and permanent magnet synchronous generators. So mainly we will use wound rotor synchronous generator. At very rare cases we will use the permanent rotor synchronous generators. And next, coming to the power electronic converters, here the power electronic converters are becoming more and more attractive as means of improving the performance of a wind turbines. So The power converter topologies that are most commonly used in a wind turbine applications are, there are total four converters which are mainly used. Those are starters and capacitor bank, rectifiers and inverters, frequency converters. So these four are the main power electronic converters which are used in wind turbines. So here the first one is the soft starter. The soft starter is a simple and cheap power electrical component which is used in fixed speed wind turbines during their connection to the grid. And the soft starter's function is to reduce the inrush current, thereby limiting the disturbances to the grid. So without a soft starter, the inrush current can be kept up to 7 to 8 times the rated current, which can cause severe voltage disturbances on the grid. And coming to the second one, that is capacitor bank. So the capacitor bank is used in the fixed speed or limited variable speed wind turbines. So it is an electrical component that supplies reactive power to the induction generator. Thus, the reactive power absorbed by the generator from the grid is minimized by using this capacitor bank. And the next one is rectifiers and inverters. So a rectifier is nothing but a traditional frequency converter which is also called as adjustable speed drive, consists of a rectifier, that means as AC to DC conversion unit, and energy storage capacitors, and an inverter, that means DC to AC with controllable frequency and voltage. By using this also we can control the power power, that means electricity. And the next one is the frequency converters. So the frequency converters are again classified into four types. Those are back to back converters, multi-level converters, and matrix converters. Three types. These are back to back converters, multi-level converters, and matrix converters. So by using these converters also we can control the power in the wind turbines. So this is about wind turbine topologies.